Welcome back everyone to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. We got another episode of new this month. We're going to be talking about January 2024. We've officially entered 2024. In January, I'm going to talk about all the new major movies and TVs coming out this month. Before we get started, make sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel. It helps a lot. It's free to do so. And so we're now in January now, which means it's officially the worst month of the year. As a movie fan, we can all agree that January is the worst month of the year. So this video is not going to be too long because studios don't really put too many new movies in January and too many big releases. It's usually small releases because January is such a low month for box office because people have spent so much money on Christmas gifts, New Year's stuff and all that, New Year's parties and all that. So people don't have a lot of money to go see movies. So that's why you don't have the big movies in the theaters until February or March. But let's get started. January 4th, which is a Thursday. Society of the Snow comes out that day on Netflix. It's I think it's a movie from Spain, and J.A. Bayona directed this one. He also directed Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, which I actually liked a decent bit. I liked the emotional parts of that one, and I've been hearing some pretty good things from this film. It is a foreign film, like I said, but I've been hearing some really good things. I think it is also based off a true story. I forget the story, but they crash a plane in like these snowy mountains and all that, and they basically have to survive and all that. But I've heard it's very good. It released in some limited markets and theaters. But yeah, people are saying they liked it a lot. And they said that it's one of the best movies of 2023. But I'm gonna count it in my 2024 rankings because it officially releases in 2024. So I'm actually very excited to watch it on Netflix. Well, I wish I could have seen it in theaters though, but we'll see how good that is. The next day, January 5th, which is a Friday, we're finally getting the first new movie in theaters of the year, which is going to be Night Swim, which is officially the first horror movie of the year. They're kind of doing like a 2023 with this year. I think this is also from Universal too, because Universal released Megan in 2023 in January. Correct me if I'm wrong if this isn't from Universal, but I'm pretty sure it is. But I don't have high expectations for this one. The trailers have been just really, really stupid for me, and I just kind of laughed at them. I guess it's just about, these people move in this new home and they have a pool filled up and there's like demons in the pool, like they get possessed and all that. That's what I'm guessing the plot's about. It's only like an hour and a half. I think it's going to be an easy watch. Hopefully it's at least some fun in it. Hopefully it has a couple good scares, but I'm not too excited for it. And then we have Good Grief going on Netflix. I'm not really sure what this one is about, but I think it has Dan Levy in it, and Dan Levy actually does direct this movie, and I'm actually pretty interested in it. It has a pretty good cast. Dan Levy is really good in Schitt's Creek, so I'm interested to see what he does in this role, how he directs this movie. But Netflix movies can be pretty lackluster. January 9th, which is, I think that's a Wednesday, we have Echo. All of season 1 is dropping. It's either 5 or 6 episodes, I do forget. I'm pretty sure it's 5 though, so all 5 episodes are dropping. I think it's coming out Wednesday for some people, but for us Americans, I think it's going to be Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So just, change your time zones and figure out what time it is for you. I'm very excited for this show. The more footage I see from it, the more excited I get. I know you're not supposed to get too excited for the new Marvel shows because they can be pretty disappointing at times, but Echo is going to be the first TV mature Marvel show, kind of like Netflix-esque show. It's going to be kind of like Daredevil. You're going to have Daredevil in it. You're going to have Kingpin in it. You're going to see Echo's origins. Hopefully it's going to be, from the footage I've seen, it's going to look R-rated and going to have a lot of blood. Sometimes blood doesn't make a show any better, but sometimes it does for, an action show like this. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully, the trailers aren't misleading me, but still, I'm very excited to watch it all. I'll probably be reviewing it. I'm actually excited to go in more in depth on this Echo character that I don't know too much about so far. And January 9th, just a couple days after Echo, we're going to get Ted on Peacock. I'm actually not sure if they're releasing this all at once or doing weekly episodes. I hope they release it all at once because, a TED show, a comedy weekly show doesn't really work for me. I don't know if I'll, be able to keep tuning in every week if it's just a comedy and nothing really like on it. I would like to binge the show. It seems like a binge worthy show because, it's just Ted that we all know. And, the other characters, I mean, they're the younger characters from the original movies, but no actors that are from the original movies except Ted. I will tune in for the first episode. If it's not a binge, I don't know if I'll keep tuning in, but if you're really interested in Ted, you love the movies and stuff, there's that show for you. But I'm just wish they did another movie. I think that would be a little bit better. January 12th, we have Lift, which is coming to Netflix. I think this is another heist movie with Kevin Hart. The last Kevin Hart movie on Netflix, I didn't really like. I think it was called The Man from Toronto. I didn't like that one at all. So I think all of the Kevin Hart movies on Netflix haven't been great. I'll tune into it because I have to for YouTube. I'll probably review it. but don't expect anything really major from that movie. And then you do have a couple new theater releases. This is when they kind of pick up just a little bit more. We have The Beekeeper with Jason Statham. This is where he's a beekeeper, but also like a crime underground, crime fighter, fights for the good and stuff like that. It's just another, Jason Statham movie that he does every year. It's like he releases two of the same movies every year. I mean, I'll go see it. I mean, I might have fun. He has Josh Hutcherson in it, so good for him on that. But it looks very, very C tier kind of action movie. Then you have the Mean Girls remake. It's going to be the musical remake. That the trailers really haven't showed it too much. I've kind of seen it and seen the trailers. I do see kind of the musical scenes in the trailers. But if you're going into it thinking it's not a musical, you're going to be really surprised because it's a musical. So expect musical scenes in it. It's a musical remake, kind of like that, kind of like I think they had Broadway shows for this. I think I heard from someone that one of the actresses from the Broadway show is in this movie. I think the one that plays Regina George. I'm not really too 100% sure on that. I've seen someone say that, but it's actually pretty cool that they're doing like a musical thing. As I said, musicals don't always work for me. They really got to have catchy songs and all that. Really got to have all the cast really into it. I did like Wonka, so maybe I'll like this. I'm not sure if it's going to do very well at the box office, but you still got that. And then you have Soul hitting theaters for the first time. This is because Pixar is doing, the theater thing for the 3 movies in 2020 that missed the theaters with Soul, Luca, and Turning Red. I'm not sure if they're getting, full releases or it's a 1-day release or it's multiple weeks, but just look out for that information. If it's a 1-day release, I'm definitely going to go see Soul. I'm definitely going to go see Luca, not Turning Red because I didn't care for Turning Red, but they're finally hitting theaters. I'm very excited to go rewatch Soul. Then you have Self-Reliance hitting Hulu. This is the new, comedy movie with Jake Johnson, Andy Samberg, and Anna Kendrick. 3 of my favorites. And you have Gata in it from Dave. He was also in Anyone But You. I'm very happy that he's getting more roles. But you have a lot of great stars in here. A lot of great funny people. I'm really hoping this one's a funny watch. Hoping it's just a short watch. One that you can watch over and over again, like the other Andy Samberg movie on Hulu. I always forget that name, but it's Palm Springs. I think that's what it's called. That was a great movie on Hulu. But hopefully this one's even better. And you have Role Play coming to Prime Video, which is a new action movie starring Kaylee Cuoco. I'm not really expecting too much for this. Prime Video original movies have really let me down, especially if they're releasing on Prime Video first. Now, if you're like talking about something like Air from last year that came on theaters first and then hit Prime Video, I expect more from that. But if Prime Video pushes it to their streaming service first, I'm not going to expect too much. So you have a lot of stuff dropping on the 12th. So they're kind of gearing up for that middle of the month release date. Then it's going to slow down again by the end of the month because on January 14th, which I think is a Sunday, because this is a new Max premiere. We're finally getting the first big show on Max for the beginning of the year. It's True Detective Night Country. I'm not really, familiar with the True Detective show. I know I think it is an anthology series, so you can basically go into it in any season as you want to, like Fargo did. I really still need to catch up on Fargo, the newest season. I might start this True Detective season or series because it is anthology, so you can watch it, whenever. I've heard it's a very good show. Like all the seasons are pretty good. Hopefully this one's good. It's going to be weekly. I'm pretty sure like Max does their first show of the year. Then they're going to go into another show. But if you like True Detective, you got a new season coming. January 19th, you have 2 new movies in theaters with ISS. This is the newest thriller and first science fiction movie of the year. Ariana DeBose is the lead of this movie. I saw the trailer for the first time like 2 weeks ago. They really haven't marketed this movie at all. I saw a trailer in theaters. I gotta say the trailer didn't do anything for me. I'll still watch it, review it on here, but I just think that the trailers for all the January movies just have looked pretty, not that interesting, except for like Mean Girls and Self-Reliance. Those have looked good, but ISS doesn't really interest me a lot. I will, play some of the clips from the trailer during the video. Then you have Origin. I'm pretty sure this is directed by Anna DuVernay. I don't really know anything about this film, but this is going to be a limited release. So if you're not really in Los Angeles or New York, you're not going to be able to watch this movie for a long time. I'm not even sure, what this movie's about, as I said, but I think it is directed by Ava DuVernay, and she does pretty good with her films. So not really much coming out on the 19th. Then, the last week of the month will be January 26th, and you got 2 new major releases. This is going to be Miller's Girl, a new movie hitting the theaters. This is kind of like a romance thriller movie with Jenna Ortega. I actually saw the trailer for this one online. It actually looks pretty good. It's like a plot of a movie that you don't really see much. A plot of a movie from like the early 2000s. This kind of looks like, I mean, it looks pretty interesting, looks pretty cool. Jenna Ortega, she brings a lot to every role that she's in. She brings a lot to every movie that she's in. So, I mean, I'll still tune in for it. I like Jenna Ortega a lot. Sucks what happened with Scream with her. You're not going to get her in another Scream movie probably ever. It's not going to happen. But she looks pretty good in here, so I'll probably still tune in. And then you have Master of the Air, which is a new Apple TV show. I think this is also based off a true story. Going to be a big, epic, plane story and all that. And you got Austin Butler. I think you got Barry Keoghan in this one. And you got Callum Turner in this one. You got a very big stacked cast for this one. It's going to be a big budget kind of series. Apple TV always goes above and beyond. I think this one's going to be a weekly series, but I think they're going to be dropping the first 2 or 3 episodes to start. So I'm actually going to tune in this one. I think a lot of dads are going to tune into this one because even my dad likes these kind of shows. I think a lot of, older people like these kind of shows. So I'm actually looking forward to this one because the cast is amazing. But yeah, those are all the major movies and TV shows coming on January. As I said, don't expect too much from these releases. I doubt we're going to have any movies above like an 8 out of 10 for this month. It's going to start out very weak for 2024. 2024 as a whole doesn't look as good as 2023, but hopefully we'll get some big winners in some of those later months like March, April, and all that. But January and February, we're going to start it out pretty slow. But yeah, that's all the movies coming out in January. Leave down below in the comments, what are you most excited to watch in January? I'm most excited to watch Mean Girls, Self-Reliance, and I think I'm most excited to watch Miller's Girl, Master of the Air too. I think those look pretty interesting. But yeah, those are all the movies and TV shows coming out in January. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Make sure to leave a like if you did, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.